The only thing that is slightly annoying is when you tip it, it zooms. Today we're out with a 35mm film camera. This is my old Nikon F80. We've got it out, we've put some batteries back in it and some film, and we're testing it out and seeing how it gets on. So far it handles really well. It's not quite as slick as the D810, but I like it, and I love the shutter sound. You can't beat that shutter sound. We're using 400 ASA Kodak Tri X black and white. The lens, again, is an old lens. It's a 28-300 Sigma. And again, really good to sort of travel zoom lens. I've used equivalent lenses for Nikon on the D810 and the D90. Always love this lens. So what's it like using a film camera then, Joel?
Very, very nice. Very.
How's it compared to using a phone?
Well, yeah, it's a lot more, I guess, vintage, I guess you could say. I don't know. No, I like it. It's cool.
Obviously we can't see what photos we've taken, but
no, but yeah, it's nice. I mean, I like the sound it makes as well. It's cool.
It's the first time I've shot 35mm film in about 10 or 15 years now. So back when I was about 10 or 11, used to play around with our family's one. I think I tried this one many years ago. Although to be fair, actually I did use this for my photography course at A level. So I have had some experience using 35mm film, and it's quite exciting because I don't know what I've shot, and Neil doesn't know what he's shot, Joel doesn't know what he's shot. I'm going to take it to a shop, get it developed, wait for a few days, and I'm quite excited. I mean, the only thing that's most annoying is that we've already used up 24 shots this morning, which, you know, on a memory card you don't have to worry. But this is quite exciting. And also, yeah, the camera, the F80 is great. Got all these awesome features. Feels good. Feels like a standard Nikon camera. The lens is really impressive for what it is, considering the age. The only thing that is slightly annoying is when you tip it, it zooms. Yeah, excited to see how they come out. It still works, which is just amazing, and it's been fantastic to use. I love the way the shutter works and the way the shutter sounds. It's black and white film in there at the moment. Obviously we've got to get it developed and see how it comes out, but we'll present that when we do the video. But yeah, my thoughts. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I'll grab it now.
I'll hand it over to you now.
So yeah, no,
the magic of film, it transfers.
Yeah, transfers to me. Editing. So obviously Neil probably has had a bit more experience with 35mm than I have, but that's not to say I haven't. I did used to use it years and years ago, about the age of 10 or so, and then a little bit during A level. And the thing I noticed first of all was how quickly you run through the film, because this one has also finished now. It just suddenly went very, very, very quickly.
Yeah, 35 is not a lot. 36, sorry.
36, no, it's not a lot. If you're used to shooting, you know, digital, even with a sort of 8 gig card, it just goes. So, but yeah, I'm really excited. I found a place near mine which develops in a couple of days. So I'm going to take one of the rolls to the place near mine, and Neil's going to see what he can find.
I'm going to find a pro shot. We're going to see which one comes out best.
Okay, jumping forward, it's been a few weeks now. Neil and I have both gone and got our films developed. Now, I went and got mine developed at a shop on the high street where I live. Neil ended up having his sent off, and we kind of just wanted to compare how those two services sort of came out. So mine ended up costing me about $12.99, but that did include a free basic scan. Unfortunately, they didn't do a process only option, which is a bit annoying, but the convenience of being able to walk 20 minutes into my town, pick them up the next day was quite useful. Neil ended up sending his off. It took a few days. I think all told it was about £7 or £8, maybe a bit less, but he just got the developed negatives. He didn't get any scans done. Now, on the subject of the scans, I'll throw a few up now. They were fine. They're just kind of a bit basic, and they really lack dynamic range, and I think that is just the fact they used a cheap, sort of quick and easy scanner. For sort of previewing, it's kind of nice to have. I was able to just look at them on my phone as I was walking home, but certainly wouldn't want to use them professionally. Now, we actually shot a second roll of film, technically first, but we shot another roll of film, and I'll throw some pictures up now. These are ones that I've actually gone and scanned myself. Now, I did this using my GH5 and an improvised light table using an LED and a diffuser. I'm pretty happy with how they came out, but although I've still got to work on a few things, I'm still debating whether getting a flatbed scanner would be better. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of hard to say really, but because I'm fairly new to this. Now, part of the reason we ended up going for black and white was just because Tri X was the only thing Amazon had in stock at that moment, but also doing black and white when it comes to processing the images takes out a lot of the maybe confusion that is experienced with doing proper colour negatives. Now, I've actually been scanning a few colour negatives from my family's old photo collection, and just been trying to work on colour and tweaking, getting the white balance right, and it's quite a process. I think I've got something pretty good now, but yeah, we just wanted to mainly focus on black and white for the time being, just to make sure we're getting exposure and playing around with dynamic range. So yeah, overall I'm really happy with how they came out. It was certainly nice to kind of actually be limited in that I'm not just snapping away, just shooting anything. I'm actually having to really think about it because, as I said, those 36 shots, they went by super quick. Now, we're really fortunate that the Nikon F80 has basically most of the auto features that modern day cameras have, so I wasn't having to kind of do any guesswork, and I wasn't having to worry about manual focus. Although that being said, I have a bunch of old Pentax lenses that I normally use for filming, and I'm quite tempted to buy something like the ME Super just to do proper mechanical SLR style shooting. Now, firstly, for us, we're not going to suddenly switch back to using film. It's not practical. I mean, you know, if I'm shooting an event, a digital camera, even an 8 gig card, I could get several hundred pictures, you know, and I'd have to buy loads and loads of rolls of film to be able to do the same thing. However, that's not really, to me, that's not really the point of using film in 2020 and beyond. You want to use film for quite specific and quite kind of careful shooting. So if I'm doing some portrait stuff, I might actually be interested in using film. You can't really appreciate this because it's just black and white that we were doing. You can't really appreciate skin tones and colours, but what you can appreciate is the texture and the way the dynamic range works and just the way it recreates the image. There is something just quite organic that even scanning through, you know, using a GH5 or Neil scanned using his D810, you still just get something that it's just got this very organic and very kind of almost alive feeling to it. You can, I like the fact that you get a bit of scratches and loads of grain. It looks like you actually shot to something rather than just shot digital pixels to a memory card. I mean, digital cameras are amazing, and you know, I'm not about to switch back because that'll just make my life a nightmare. But I do want to embrace film more, and I've got the same ethos with, you know, the same reason I've been shooting Super 8, which video coming very soon, by the way. I like the fact that, one, I'm appreciating where we came from, how we got here, and two, the fact that analog shooting, while less practical these days, still has a lot of value, especially artistically speaking. You know, obviously if I did a proper drum scan or something really, really sort of high end, I could probably pull out a bit more detail from these. But I was impressed with the scans I was getting just off the GH5 and the RAW files, and I was able to do a lot with them. Certainly if you compare, if you look side by side to the high street scans versus my scans, there's a lot more dynamic range. And I'm still working on the camera raw settings and everything, but it's something I want to try more of for sure. So we're going to follow this up, and me and Neil are actually going to go through our current scanning methods. Then I can safely say that mine is janky, but it
it works quite well so far. I do need to look at a light table and proper stand and stuff, but for the time being, the way I've got it set up actually is yielding pretty good results. So we're going to go through our scanning processes at some point, which will be similar to other people's, might be a bit different. But we're also going to be shooting colour next, which I know a lot more people will be interested in colour than in regular black and white. So as I said, I've thrown up a few of my kind of old family photos that I've rescanned in colour, but I really want to shoot with the kind of, I guess, with the experience I've had recently, in the last few years of doing photography properly. I'd like to go back and revisit this because, as I said, the last time I really did film photography must have been in college, and that was about 9 or 10 years ago now, and I didn't really appreciate it at the time. We did developing and that was kind of cool, I guess, but all I wanted to do was shoot digital, and now I'm the other way around. So yeah, film photography, interesting. I definitely want to do more. It's not going to replace our workflow, but it might come into play for certain specific things. Again, I like the fact that it actually forces me to stop and think, and to also appreciate that old technology has really stood the test of time. Anyway, that's going to about do it for this week. Look out for more film photography videos coming up. Again, please, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. We release videos every week on video production, photography, music production, editing, all that good stuff. So yeah, subscribe, notifications on, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Wow, like he wants to get in the sea, so I'm glad he got his way.